everyone, my name is Tasha and today I'm going to talk about all of the books that I read in October. The first book I read this month was So Corrupted by Lisa Gale Green. This is the second book in the Of Demons and Angel trilogy series. I read the first book earlier this year. I requested that on NetGalley, and this second book was sent to me by the publisher, so thank you for that. I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. I'm not gonna get too much into what this book was about because obviously it's the second book and I would spoil things. This series follows two teenagers that have died. Grace goes to heaven after she dies. Josh into hell. I enjoyed the second book, so this one a lot more than the first one, and I'm actually quite excited for the third one. I'm not sure when it comes out. This next book I have a lot more to say about. The next book I read was The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. This is the collection of novella stories that take place before the actual Throne of Glass series. I rated this 3.5 stars. I didn't quite enjoy the first story. It took me so long to get into. Really loved the second story. Towards the end, I was an emotional wreck. You know that a certain character dies, and it's so heartbreaking to read these stories. By the end of this, I was crying, and I love Sam and Selena so much, and I wish he could come back to life so Selena and him could be happy. The next book I read this month was A Fairy's Revenge by Rachel Morgan. This is the 5th book in the Creepy Hollow series, and if you have not heard me talk about this series yet, welcome to my channel. Again, I'm not gonna get into what actually happens in this book because it's way into the series and it would spoil quite a few things. I did film a video review for this, so I will link to that up here. And I also filmed a video about the entire series, just what it's about in general, and I will also link that somewhere. I'll link everything down below. Just to keep it really short, A Fairy's Revenge I thought was a really good sequel to A Fairy's Secret. I rated this book 4 stars. 4 stars. Once again, as with every Rachel Morgan book, or at least every Creepy Hollow book that I've read, it left me screaming at my Kindle. But it's so good. And then I read this book, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This book, you can't really see it there. This is a really pretty cover. I'm glad I have this cover with the red title font. So pretty. I love it. And I loved this book so much. Again, I filmed a video review for this. It's by the time this video is up. I don't think this one will be up by then, but I will eventually link this somewhere. So I won't get too much into my thoughts and feelings about this book, but I am gonna say I rated this 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. I enjoyed this a lot more than the Grisha trilogy, and yeah, my video review for this will follow soon. The next book I read was Drown by Esther Dalseno. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. This book was kindly sent to me by the author. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for that. I haven't actually filmed the video review for this. I'm gonna film it after this video, so again, I'm not gonna talk too much about my thoughts. I rated this book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And look at this beautiful cover. I'm so obsessed with this cover. This book is it says right here, a twisted take on the classic fairy tale. I'm not familiar with the classic The Little Mermaid fairy tale, but I did enjoy this so much. This book was so beautifully written. It was dark and twisted and yet beautiful and tragic, and by the end of this book, my heart was breaking along with the Little Mermaid's heart. Video review will follow and will be linked down below. After those, long and intense and dramatic and tragic. For all of those books, I wanted something light and funny and something I could get through quickly. So I read The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire by Dan Howell and Phil Lester. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. This book is huge, first of all. This book is basically a Dan and Phil video in book form. It's basically filled with a lot of stories, how they met, their YouTube stories, how everything began, and how they met One Direction, and their travels to Japan. The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. Let me look that up because I'm not sure. I'm gonna rest this book on my shoulder. Yes, I rated this 4 stars. The last book I read in the month of October was actually an audiobook, and I mentioned it shortly in my September wrap-up because I actually started it in September, but I just finished it a few days ago. And that was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I hope I said that right. This book follows Simon, who is not openly gay. He's hilarious. I really enjoyed this book. It was so funny, but also so cute. I loved it so much. By the end of this, I was lying in my bed and listening to it, and I could... this so much cuteness, I could not handle it. Simon is talking to this other guy via email. They don't know who the other person is, but they've been talking a while, and this other person, Blue, is also gay, not openly. And one day Simon is being blackmailed about all of this. It's just about Simon and his struggle with a lot of things, and it's so cute, and I kind of wished I had this book in book form. I feel like I would have enjoyed it even more if I had read it, because there were some things about the narration that I didn't like. For example, how they narrated Leah. I found that so annoying. So I might get this book in actual book form someday and reread it and see how I like it then. I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna love it, but yes. Those were all the books that I read in the month of October. Tell me down below what books you read. Did you read any of these? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Tell me about it down below, and I will see you next time. Bye! I'm gonna do that again because I feel like I'm mumbling. Words. I don't know what I'm doing.